Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, we have a very special guest with us. And for those who don't know him, this is Rahul Sasi. Rahul is the founder of CloudSec InfoSecurity, which is a cyber intelligence firm in Bangalore. He is an entrepreneur, he's a cybersecurity specialist, a TEDx speaker, and a white hat hacker himself. He has given several talks on hacking and security in over 20 countries, and I'm very excited to have him here today. Um, Before we begin, I just want to say that CloudSec is also running an internship program for students called Earn While You Learn. And I'm going to talk about it more with Rahul in this video. So if you're a student and if you're looking for your break into cybersecurity, then definitely stay tuned to know more about this. So thank you, Rahul, for joining us today. I'm very excited to interview you and get to know more about you and more about CloudSec.
Thanks a lot for having me here. Great show, by the way.
Awesome. So but before we begin, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how did CloudSec come into existence?
I started my cybersecurity journey back in 2006, right? I mean, that's my first year of engineering. I got super fascinated by all the cool things you can do as a hacker, right? It is some sort of happiness when you get when you can accomplish certain things, and I got drawn into that when I reached some. And I was contributing to cybersecurity community in my first, second, and third year. When I reached my fourth year, I got this internship opportunity from this large startup. Unfortunately, my college was not letting me take that internship. They were like, you have to be in campus for the next 6 months. And for me, it's important that I want to do what I really wanted to do, which was cybersecurity. So what I did is I quit engineering in my 7th semester, went and worked for the startup. Even that startup is now Eyesight Partners, which is now FireEye, by the way. And then I had to leave college halfway, pursue my passion, which was cybersecurity. Over the years, I've went speaking and I've contributed a lot of talks and content in cybersecurity, traveled to almost 22 plus countries, met a lot of folks. When I met a lot of folks internationally, I understood that everywhere in the world, people are the same. And that made me think, why can't we build great products out of this region and sell to the world? Right. And that made me quit my last job, which was at Citrix, founded the company CloudSec in 2015. Now it's almost 6 years. We have crossed 100 plus people. We're going to touch 170 people this year. And that's where the story is.
I love that. I like how, you came from some place where you weren't allowed to do an internship and now you're here. It's quite an inspiration. I know I have a lot of students watching this, so I'm sure your story is going to be a huge inspiration for them. And talking about students, I know everyone is quite excited. One sec. Talking about students, I know everyone's going to be very curious to know more about the Earn While You Learn program. So can you tell us about it? We know it's an internship program, but can you tell us a little more about it?
Absolutely. It's not just an internship program, actually. It's actually Earn While You Learn. You're going to earn while you are studying. So this is not like a 2 months or 3 months program. What we are letting students do is we pick up good candidates while they are in the second year of engineering or whatever thing, right? And then we let them work with the company till they graduate. So while they are doing their studies, they can contribute to the company, and we pay a stipend of 25,000 per month, which is basically, if you look at it in 2 years, it is basically 6.5 lakhs we are paying to the student. And we are doing this so that they can be in college, get their degree, at the same time, get the industry exposure. So end of 2 years, they would not have a educational debt, which they could take care of with this money itself. So it's not just an internship program. It's literally earning while you are working, while you're studying.
Right. So for students, do they need to have any kind of prerequisites to apply for this?
Yeah, so we do have a screening process, right? The first screening round is applying, right? That's the step one. Once you apply, we have, based on the category you applied, whether you're applied for engineering, you earn while you learn, or cybersecurity, earn while you learn, whatever function, right? We have a bunch of, evaluation processes. One of them includes a challenge, right? And you solve the challenge, we shortlist a certain set of people. From those certain set of people, you get to interview with one of the people in the company. And if that process also goes, there's a final hurdle which happens in the backend, and then we get to decide whom we will be bringing in on board as part of this program. And the best part of this program is after 2 years, of course, if you're there with the company for 2 years, we always want them to come back work with us. But there is no contract that they have to work with us. If they choose, we would always extend that as a full-time contract as well.
I think that sounds really cool. I know I get asked all the time about internships and cybersecurity, especially in India. So yeah, sounds pretty great. But I want to know, can someone who is from a non-technical background apply for this as well? Or is it
Yeah.
only open for technical or engineering students?
Oh, no. So we have the idea is to make sure students, right, are getting the right industry exposure. So we are investing as a company, we're investing to make that happen. So we have now started even for content writing, like cybersecurity content writing, cybersecurity research, engineering. So there are like a spectrum of categories we have opened up. And again, how have we decided these categories? Because we have to have mentors in our company to guide these people, right, as they grow. So based on our resource availability is where we have decided these programs. Eventually, we would want to do it to a much more larger spectrum, but right now it's limited to 4 different: engineering, cybersecurity, content, or security research.
Yeah, I think this is something a lot of people ignore, like importance of also coming from a different background into cybersecurity and bringing a different experience with you also helps, because you need a lot of different perspectives to actually protect an organization or any kind of system. So that's
Yeah.
really good to know as well. I think you already mentioned how much a student can earn with this, but what kind of work does the internship help with? So you mentioned briefly about content and cybersecurity, but within cybersecurity, what kind of experience are they going to get?
Yeah. So it's very important that we get people and give them what they want to do, right? It's part of our company philosophy also. There's no point in picking random people and asking them to do something random, right? It's important that they get to do what they really want to do. And so part of the evaluation is figuring out what does this person want to do? How does he, what makes him happy doing what? And then we try to see that in, whether we can make that possible for him or not, right? So one of the candidates, Mayank, he's now with 4 years in the company. He was the first Earn While You Learn program student. He was from VIT. He was specifically doing engineering, back-end engineering. Another person called Surya Kangasamy, he was in the second or third batch. He's from Kongu College. He was very specifically doing cybersecurity research and development. So he get to research on different things and develop them into a computer program, which eventually the company uses, right? And now he's also full-timer in the company. So the answer is we would let the students decide, and we figure out whether it really makes sense or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's always important to even understand what their strengths are, and that's how it's going to be beneficial for the company as well as the employee. So just a question about the work culture. Like, how would you describe the work culture at CloudSec, and what is it like to work at CloudSec?
Yeah. So and this is something we worked really hard. Okay, I used to be an athlete. I used to play football, and from morning to evening, I used to love going to the football field and playing. And this is back when I was in school, right? The reason I loved it because it's something which I resonated with and I was passionate about. And the way we are building our culture is very similar. We want to build a company where people want to come play, work every day, not because they have to, not because they are getting paid, but because it's really fun doing it. And we give a lot of importance to the kind of people also come, right? Culturally fit. We want to make sure, see, you hang out with your friends a lot, right? Why do you hang out with a certain set of people? Because you have a cultural, ideological, similarity to those people. You resonate with them. And we try to build a culture where people resonate, people debate, people progress together. And that is the kind of environment we have tried really hard setting up in the company. So that means Monday, you should not feel like it's Monday. Monday is like, ooh, I want to go there, right? And I'm building a company where I want to go, and these are the people I would like to work with. And that's the simple way.
So what are the future plans for CloudSec? Where do you see it in the next 5 years or perhaps the next 10 years?
See, I mean, we started with a single objective, right? Can we be the largest cybersecurity product in external threat, cyber intelligence, was the ambition we started. We are, of course, far away from that ambition, but we have made much more milestones. Of course, there are a lot of people who didn't even think you would make it this far, and we made it, and we are going to make it even further, right? With the right set of people, and their talent and their passion is going to get us where we want to. So yes, we will stop when we are the largest cybersecurity company in the external threat intelligence space.
So if you're talking about being the largest, what real world problems is CloudSec trying to solve?
Yeah, cool. See, I mean, the very primary problem we're trying to solve is, as of now, if you look at the cybersecurity space, a lot of work is manually done. You have to spend a lot of time trying to do repetitive tasks just because there's not an automation available. The focus of the company is to make sure that humans are doing not repetitive tasks, but highly intelligent tasks. The repetitive tasks, we're trying to make a computer system, an AI system do it. So a lot of work we do is in text analysis space, where we're looking at a textual data, analyzing them, making sure a context is extracted out of it so that a human doesn't have to read. For example, you see a vulnerability report, right? You have to read the whole report to understand the context of what is happening. And you have to do it repetitively. Why can't a machine do that? Because they can read. And can we make them understand? And then can we make them think a little bit to do so that it is going to aid you in making the final decision making rather than making you read the whole content yourself, right? That's the way we are heading. So in a way, if you look at it, we're trying to make sure that the cybersecurity crowd at least is much more efficient and their time is utilized better, is our target focus as a tech.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this has been a pretty useful conversation. I know my audience is going to get a lot of value out of this. Do you have any last words, any tips for anyone aspiring to go into cybersecurity?
Yeah, see, I mean, first of all, if you have decided that you want to do cybersecurity, then that is what you have to do, right? It is important, and cybersecurity is, there's a lot of things inside cybersecurity itself, right? And the one thing, whichever direction you go, it's very important that you go into the depth of those. For instance, people might understand how SQL injection works. Well, then what do you go into the depth? Well, then you understand how does the application framework, let's say the SQL injection is in a PHP application, then how does PHP work? Then you go one level down. You understand how the PHP scripting language is built. Then you go one level and see how does the PHP scripting language interact with the operating system. And then you go one level down and you understand how does the scripting, the operating system interacts with the hardware if it's necessary, and then give a response back. The point is that whatever you choose, you have to make sure you go really into the depth of it. As the further depth you have, the much more clarity you will have in solving problems. And that is my only advice.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. I mean, I know when I started, it was hard to go into that depth thing. Especially I come from a non-technical background, so it's easy to look things on the surface and not go deep. And yeah, it really brings a different perspective when you understand what you're even trying to break. So yeah, I think that's all the questions that I had for you today. Like I said, it's been a very valuable talk, and to all the students, I hope you find this program useful, and I'm going to leave the link below. So if you want, you can check it out, read about it, and apply.
Awesome. stop recording, right?
I'm actually, yeah, I think I'll just film an outro separately. So we can just end it over here.